Hello and welcome to the Nuclear Reactor, and today we'll be reacting to part 2 of What If Goku Went to Beerus' Planet. I hope y'all are enjoying my reactions, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And let's get on with this.
Hello everyone, I'm Carthu, and welcome back to the dojo. Today, we are going to talk part 2 of the Goku sent to Beerus' Planet What If. I know, it's not a Wednesday, it's not even close, and it's not like I missed a Wednesday. This is a part 2 because you guys have requested it so heavily, and I always do a weekend video anyway, so I just pushed back the weekend video for this weekend, just till a little later. The topic at hand, though, what are we specifically discussing in this part 2? As you may be aware if you've watched part 1, if you haven't, it's...
Exactly, what more could there be? I mean, part 1 went all the way through Goku thoroughly kicking Beerus' ass, so what more do we need?
It's linked right above. Part 1 actually covers the entire timeline, up until the point that Beerus reawakens after Goku arrives on the planet and he goes to sleep for Whis to train him. So, what could this be? Well, it's the time in between, which I didn't really elaborate on in that video, because I didn't really want to make a half an hour long video. This video will focus on the events that take place on Beerus' planet specifically. Any events that happen on Earth, maybe we could save those for a part 3, I think that'd be a little bit more interesting.
Yeah.
I don't think putting them in the same video really works very well because they are two separate planets, really, and two separate events. It's a whole different form of timeline, sort of, when you're constructing a narrative like that. So, let's just talk about the events on Beerus' planet, and I would like to say I'm trying to, as best as possible, give you insight into how I feel the characters would act and react in these situations based on the characterizations they've been given in the past. However, this is my interpretation of those characters, so you may not agree with how I characterize some people here. This is falling closer to the realm of fanfiction, and this is probably about as far as I'll ever go for a what if, because I need to really elaborate on the events in between point A and B that I established in the last video. Without further ado, video intro. The first thing that I think would happen is Whis would not want to deal with a rampaging monkey baby, and he already doesn't really care for transformations as a use of powering up. This would mean that he sees no benefit in having the tail and would remove it promptly, making it a permanent removal as well. That way Goku wouldn't go on tiny rampages every time Beerus' moons came out. The next early on issue we have is, what would Goku's name be? Would he really go with the name Goku? No, probably not. It's not an established name for the character at that point. So, would it be Kakarot? And that, I think, makes a bit more sense. You see, naming him Kakarot follows this line of reasoning that Whis can actually see the past if he's specifically searching for it. Like when Whis showed Beerus how, well, Frieza got killed by Super Saiyan Goku. Well, not killed, as we know, but you know what I'm saying. So Whis, using his staff to project images and flashbacks of Goku's past, would be able to determine his name is Kakarot, and thusly would call him Kakarot. Makes perfect sense to me, at the very least.
Yep.
And also, on the topic of Whis' staff, we do know that Whis can also track specific species to where they are currently located. This ability would make Whis privy to the knowledge that there are other Saiyans still alive, specifically Raditz, Nappa, and Vegeta. With this in mind, they will be the target for Goku to first overcome, the hurdle first in his way. Now, as we know, it does take Raditz another 22 years before he actually finds Goku. This would be age 761. In age 761, that is the exact age that Raditz first arrives on Earth. We're gonna assume that stays the same for Beerus' planet. He will come to Beerus' planet at 761. At this point, Goku can use God Ki and thusly Super Saiyan God. But the more important thing that Whis is trying to emphasize is fundamentals. Because Goku has none, he's a 2-year-old. The fundamentals, his education, and his behavior, especially since he didn't bump his head in this timeline. You see, not all Saiyans are these rambunctious children running around destroying planets. they're actually shown to be fairly civilized in the Broly movie and honestly in most incarnations. So being fairly civilized means that
Spoilers.
you just have to raise them from babies to adults that are civilized. That's simply it. Some babies and humans, real life humans, are rambunctious and get into trouble a lot. If you raise them correctly, they will no longer be that child when they grow up all the way. So utilizing the assumption that Whis fixes that problem, it's fixed by the time that Raditz arrives at the very, very least. And so, the year is now 761, Raditz has landed on Beerus' planet. Goku's power
My question is, how the hell did he find Beerus' planet? Because under my assumption, well, this is my assumption, because I remember in the Super Saiyan 3 in the Buu saga, what's his name? Anyway, the assistant to the Supreme Kai said that no mortal had ever stepped foot on their planet, and that it is impossible for a mortal to find. So, I mean, well, Goku followed Gohan's ki with instant transmission, but besides that, wouldn't Beerus' planet fall under the same thing? So, how can Raditz supposedly find Beerus' planet when it should be... this whole thing doesn't kind of make sense because Goku was able to get to there and everything, but I don't understand how that could be without Whis allowing them in and taking him to that planet. I just don't understand that.
breaks Raditz's scouter, which sends a signal back to the other two, Nappa and Vegeta, that something has gone terribly wrong. They know that Goku is supposed to be this weak, low-class warrior, and all of a sudden, now he has a power level so strong that it broke Raditz's scouter. This is piquing Vegeta's interest, and so he goes after Goku and Raditz, following Raditz's last known position as a point of reference. Back on Beerus' planet, though, Whis is realizing that this will be far too easy for Goku to be of any benefit, so he puts Goku in one of the weighted suits that we've seen in Dragon Ball Super. And he also informs Goku to not use God Ki at all. He wants to see what Goku can do without transforming. Again, a principle that Whis instilled in the basic training of Goku and Vegeta when they arrive in Dragon Ball Super. Because of the suit, Goku is actually slightly disadvantaged, but he starts to grow, and grow rather quickly, almost similar to how Broly was in the Broly movie. However, Broly was just learning actually how to fight. This is a Goku adapting to the new set of restrictions upon his body. After a rather short amount of time, Goku begins to overpower and then proceed to obliterate Raditz, with pretty much no difficulty at that point. The fight didn't last that long, and it was just a small stepping stone to something greater to come. You see, as I said, Vegeta is already making preparations to leave for Beerus' planet, and Whis can see this as well. He uses his staff to detect where the other two Saiyans are, surprised that they didn't all come together. He notices how far they are, and he determines that it will be about a year. I am obviously using a year here so we could stay in the relatively similar timeline to the one that we have in the original series. I don't want to make too many assumptions about where Vegeta and Nappa are relative to Beerus' planet, relative to Earth. Too many unnecessary assumptions just makes this feel like too much of a fanfic. I'm trying to avoid that if we can. Since Whis at least has a rough idea how powerful Vegeta and Nappa are, and sees how powerful Goku is already, he tells Goku to not train for the next year. Whis is trying to allow this next fight to be as close as possible for as long as possible. And so, a year passes, little happens on Beerus' world, and Vegeta and Nappa arrive. Whis tells Goku fairly quickly that the big one can be finished off, since it's the shorter one that's important to his growth. And so, Goku goes about one-shotting Nappa with literally no difficulty, and now the fight with Vegeta begins. Goku is once again given the weighted suit, obviously more heavy than the last time for this fight, and gets stronger as the fight goes on. However, something Whis didn't predict is happening now. Vegeta is also getting stronger as the fight happens. Whis sees this as an opportunity here, and increases the weight on Goku over time, so he doesn't start to outpace Vegeta. He even begins to heal Vegeta on occasion, allowing him to keep going and receive Zenkai boosts, though possibly unintentionally. Whis has them fight for a month straight, replenishing their stamina and healing them as necessary so they don't need to stop. But by the end of the month, Whis removes Goku's suit and tells him to show Vegeta his God Ki. Goku erupts into Super Saiyan God and shakes the entire Dragon Ball macrocosm with his power-up. Whis gives him the okay, and Goku obliterates Vegeta. So yes,
Damn,
I wasn't
that was
setting that up for
brutal.
Vegeta to stay, I was setting it up for Vegeta to be used. Vegeta was used, and successfully so,
Vegeta.
and now he has served his purpose, so he must be destroyed. He is not part of Beerus' plan for Goku. He wants to fight Goku, not
Now
other
Vegeta's a
Saiyans.
vegetable.
With the Saiyans
Sorry.
gone and Goku extremely powerful, Whis begins to train him for Ultra Instinct for the remaining 16 years. Since Whis has trained him since the beginning, Goku doesn't have the inherently bad tendencies that
Oh,
stopped
that's
him
true.
from achieving it in Dragon Ball Super. In this case, that would be Goku's relaxed nature. He does not have that in this because Whis has been teaching him fundamentals and how not to be relaxed and on guard constantly without overthinking. So, Goku goes on to master Ultra Instinct in the next 16 years. And as I said in my first video, he possibly does so even sooner than the 16-year mark. It's not like he's mastering it right as Beerus wakes up. Instead, he masters it well before, expecting a challenge from Beerus because of all the hype that's been built up for this fight, only to be disappointed once he uses his full Ultra Instinct and is able to defeat Beerus casually. Now, does he kill Beerus in this instance? I would say yes. And because of that, I would also say that Whis had a plan in store for this, and that Goku is now the God of Destruction of Universe 7. Goku was
Damn.
just a backup plan. This is why Whis was so okay with training him, because he knew either way this fight went, he would still have a God of Destruction by the end of it. And that is how the events on Beerus' planet end, with Goku becoming the new God of Destruction of Universe 7.
That's interesting.
Thanks for watching. Leave
I
your
should've seen
opinions,
that comment
counterpoints in the
now.
comments down below. Hit subscribe and that notification bell if you want to stay up to date on the channel. Check out the Patreon and the t-shirt if you really want to support me. And don't forget to click those 2 videos above to go see some other
I
great
like
content
that,
on the
though.
channel.
And then
See ya!
I see there's a third one that's like a split off between the what if Broly went to Earth and what if Goku went to Beerus' planet. So should I react to that one? I think I'm gonna throw that one in for next week's first video, and then I'm gonna pick out one for the second one, a smaller series to start. I'm gonna pick out one that I want to because there's just a lot that I really want to react to, and I just want one to do for myself. So I hope y'all don't mind that. I'll try to pick out a good one though. Hope y'all enjoyed my reactions, and until next time, peace. I hope y'all enjoyed my reaction. If you like my content, then like and subscribe please, and follow me on Twitter for video updates. The link will be in the description below, and as always, stay nuclear.